have additional people join us tonight, but I want to make sure that we get started on time, and that way we don't run over. First, I want to say thanks so much, you guys, for being on our Dare to Be Diamond call tonight. We are super, super excited. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Brianne Parks. I'm a Diamond Ambassador, and I'll be co-hosting with Jenny Holding, who is also a Ruby Ambassador. And it was Jenny's idea to actually have Kelley Hunt Smith, who's going to be sharing a lot of tips with us tonight. We're super excited about. She is an Emerald Ambassador and has really been in the business for quite some time now. She's a great leader, so I'm so excited to hear. And Jenny, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you to kind of do an introduction for Kelley.
Yay! Okay, guys. Kelley was my choice tonight on the call because we had a lot of new ambassadors that have joined our teams in the last couple of months. I mean, our teams have like blown up, and I had so many new ambassadors like asking me about ideas on how they can grow their business. Well, Kelley had done a Dare to Be Diamond call a while back for us when Brianne first started our Dare to Be Diamonds on conference calls, and she had so many good tips, and I wanted her to redo that call for us because I was hoping that most of the ambassadors that get on tonight, or I mean, once it's recorded, we're able to share it so that they have all of these great ideas. And these are ideas that you can use to expand your business in your local area. So, Kelley, are you ready?
I am.
Yay. I'm going to mute myself out. Okay. Go ahead. I'm handing it off to you, my friend.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much to Jenny and Brianne for having me tonight. I'm excited to be here. I see lots of familiar faces and faces that I don't know yet. So I'm hoping that as we head into convention, I will be able to meet all of you in Vegas. That's very exciting. I actually did this training, like Jenny said, for, I think Amy Eastman was hosting that call for you, Brianne. We were doing the call, like on the phone call back in the day before we had Zoom. And I remember that. It was a great call. And I also just posted a little bit of this into the Road to Emerald page, which is a page that is for people pushing to make Emerald before our Kona trip. So this is good. So it's kind of rolling off of that and into a call. So thank you for having me. I had to start getting a mindset change a little bit into my business once I hit about Ruby, Senior Ruby. I felt like I had exhausted my warm market. So I had all my friends, I had all my family, and most of the people that I knew had joined me already in the business. So they were working the business, and I was so excited about that, but I wanted to make that big step of growth to go into Emerald. So I had to start thinking outside the box. So these are some things that I did at that time to really grow and market in my community to people that I don't know personally. So these are kind of things that are gonna get you involved in your community and help you become bold in your business because you don't know these people. So this is a little bit maybe out of your comfort zone, but that's a good thing. So don't get scared by some of these things. It's actually really fun. I've been super blessed by these activities. So hopefully you will too if you decide to do them. Our president of Plexus, Alec Clark, always talks about if you're blessed, be a blessing. And I think that is so true. If we are blessed, and we know we are, right? Plexus is a huge blessing to our health. It's a huge blessing to our finances and our freedom of time. So I always want to give back and help share that into my community with other people that don't know me. Because it's easy to share with your friends and your family. It's easier to most of the time. It's harder to share to people that you don't know. So one of the things that I started doing, you guys hear me okay? Because I hear like some kind of like really weird staticky noise. Am I good?
I think you're okay. I think we have maybe somebody who's not muted, so let me just double check that. But you can go ahead, Kelley.
So I decided that I was going to reach out into my community and let people know that I was a local business owner, because we really are business owners. We have a business and we're promoting a product in a company. So one of the things that I did was I got a big bucket, like just a big Tupperware type of bucket. And I went to the Dollar Tree. Very inexpensive. I didn't have to spend a bunch of money, but I filled that bucket up with jump ropes, sidewalk chalk, bubbles, stickers, just little inexpensive, fun things for kids to play with. And I brought that down to a local daycare in my town. And I went in and I just said, hey, you know, my name is Kelley Smith. I'm a local business owner, and I would just love to bless you guys with this basket for the kids. They were so excited. And I put some Plexus stuff in the bucket too. And I had a flyer that I had made at the time. If you're going to make a flyer with it, make sure it's compliant. Just want to say that. But if you have marketing material, like some of us buy those trifold, graphic, brochures and things like that, you can use that so you don't have to create your own. So if you feel like you can't create your own, just bring something that you have. But I brought that bucket of toys and things into the daycare, and I just said, here I am. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. I want to bless you with a bucket. And if you could pass one of these out to your kids at the end of the week to give to their parents, I would greatly appreciate it. They were so thankful for the toys. They were like overjoyed. They said, sure, no problem. We'd love to. I've never had anybody tell me no. They were so excited to have someone come in and bless them with something little like bubbles and stickers that are super inexpensive. So they were more than happy to pass out my flyer to the parents. So that really was just a step outside my comfort zone and maybe, hit up some parents, hit up some daycare workers to see if they want to try the products. And it was really successful for me. Another thing that I did is I have 5 children. So I was in 3 schools. I had the high school, the middle school, and the elementary school. So what I did, it was actually Easter time, which right around the corner is Easter for us now. So this is a great time to do this. I got Easter baskets, different sizes and, different shapes. And I created a Plexus Easter basket. I got a big styrofoam ball. You can get them in the craft area at Walmart, super inexpensive. And I put the ball into the basket. And then I bought Easter pencils. Just dollar store Easter pencils, super cute for the kids. And I taped my business card on the top of the pencil and I stuck them all into the styrofoam. So it's like this big bouquet of cute, super cute Easter pencils. I threw in pencil caps, erasers, highlighters, things like that. Anything that the teacher could use to be blessed with. A lot of times teachers buy their own supplies. They don't have a lot of money. They don't get extra money for, little things like pencils or glue sticks and things like that. So it's a huge blessing to be able to bring that Easter basket into school and ask them if you could place it in a teacher's lounge. And that's what I did. So I filled it with pencils and school supplies. I set some samples in there of the Slim, the Ease. You could do the body cream now that we have the body cream samples. Just a couple, different things with Plexus. But really, it's about giving back. So it's something that they can use, and you're blessing them with that, and you're marketing at the same time. They're going to come in there during their breaks. They're going to know they can grab a pencil or pencil caps, and they may take a Slim or see your business card. So it's also a win-win for you. So I made those Easter baskets, and I walked right into the school, and I gave it to the front desk. I didn't have to go into the teacher's lounge at all. I just said, hey, same thing. My name is Kelley Smith. I'm a local business owner. I would love to bless your teachers with this Easter basket. They were more than grateful. They were like, oh, that's so cool. That's so neat. Thank you. I'll place it in the teacher's lounge. Every time I've done that, within a half an hour, I have had a sale. So somebody has gone into that teacher's lounge, grabbed a card, and went and ordered something. So that's been hugely successful for me. Like I said, you're blessing the teachers. So it's something that you're not only asking them to say, hey, I want to leave my marketing material for you, but because you're giving them something, they're more apt to take it. Okay. Other things that you can do along those lines. I did it for a real estate office. You can do a little variations here and there depending on your town, your personality. Real estate here where I live is huge. We have a lot of real estate agents. So I did a similar basket, but I put pens, Tic Tacs, sticky notes, hand sanitizer, still things that are super inexpensive, but that a realtor may want to grab and take. So I did the same exact thing. I walked in, I had some marketing tools in the basket, some sticks of Slim, and my business cards. And I left it at the desk with the receptionist, and I just told her, my name is Kelley Smith. I'm a local business owner, and I wanted to leave this for your realtors and see if they might want to do a business card exchange. So I wrote a little note in there on the basket. It was like an index card sign. And I just said, hey, I'm a local business owner. I would love to see if we could do a business card exchange to help each other out in our businesses. That has been huge for me. I've had several realtors call me, email me, and find me on Facebook and say, I would love to exchange cards with you. I'll take your card if you take my card. So they would give me their card. If I know someone who's looking to rent a house or buy a house or list a house, I'll pass the business card out. They leave my card maybe in their model home. Maybe they're going to do a rental. They'll leave it there. So it's been really successful. And you're also opening the lines of communication within your community. You're letting people know about Plexus. You're sharing about the products and the opportunity, but you're also giving back. So it's still a win-win. Another thing that I have done that's been pretty successful is as we roll into spring break, then we go into summer. Summer is very quick. But after the holidays, school is out. It seems like you blink your eye and school is done. We know churches have Vacation Bible School. Almost every church will have a Vacation Bible School. Super popular. Your kids go there for a week. A lot of youth groups do teenage youth. There's always a fee associated with that. It could be a small fee, like a $25. It could be something larger. But I went into local churches and I just said, I would like to sponsor a child's youth trip fee. If you have something going on, I'm a local business owner. I'd like to sponsor a child to go to a youth trip, or I would like to donate to your Vacation Bible School. You can put a cap on it. You can say, I would like to donate $10 in a bucket of toys, or I'd like to donate $25 to your youth group, whatever you're comfortable with. And then you can just say, I really would appreciate or love if you could pass out this flyer or pass out, this brochure or something at your youth group night or at the end of that Vacation Bible School. And again, I've never been told no. They were always so gracious to me, thanked me, really appreciated that I had stopped by and been willing to introduce myself, number one, in my business, and that I was donating to their youth group or their children's fund. So it's been very successful. Again, if we're blessed, be a blessing. It's something small. You don't have to spend a ton of money on this stuff. This could be very affordable. Dollar Tree items. Target has a dollar little section. You can get super cute stuff. And $25 is pretty reasonable to sponsor a kid's youth trip. Another thing that I did is our local town has huge football, cheerleading city teams. So everybody's always going out and playing football on the weekends, doing the cheerleading. So I went to the city and the parks that our kids play, and I said, hey, I'd like to sponsor a team. Do they need shirts, or do you need a sponsor fee for the cheerleaders or whatever? That can be a little more expensive. So you can say you want to sponsor the whole team, or you want to make a donation to the team if they can put your website or maybe a sign on the ball field, something like that. But it's still giving you an opportunity to market in your community and let people know what Plexus is. Because as fast as we're growing and as large as we're growing, there's still tons of people that have never heard of Plexus. It's surprising to me. And I live in a relatively small town. And I am a jewel, and I also have a jewel in my town. So we have two jewels in a super small town, and there are still plenty of people that have never heard about Plexus. So it doesn't hurt to get out in the community, let people know who you are, let them know you're a local business owner, and give back in some way. I've really found that to be successful. It's blessed me. It's been an opportunity where I've had people email me. They've seen my card or they got the flyer and said, hey, I'm a parent of one of the kids in the Vacation Bible School at so-and-so church. I heard that you donated. That's so awesome. I really appreciate that. They didn't buy from me. They didn't join my team, but they reached out and said, hey, I recognize who you are. I appreciate what you did. And, now I know that person knows what Plexus is. And maybe down the road, that person's going to recognize something or someone and say, hey, I remember this lady. She sells Plexus, or she did Plexus. You should try to find her. So it could be a connector. Even if they're not going to buy from you, or even if they don't join you, you are building connectors with someone because you're being gracious, you're being helpful, you're being, giving, and you're giving back. And people notice that. A lot of times I think, someone who may think they would never be interested in network marketing, they would shut you off if you had approached them directly. Something like this, that is a softer way. It's to say, hey, this is just who I'm a local business owner. I just want to let you know who I am. This is the service I offer, and I want to give back into the community. I think a lot of people are more receptive to that instead of just coming in and saying, here's my flyer. Can you pass it out at the end of the day? No, you're saying, hey, I recognize that, you're a local daycare. You need these toys. So I want you to do something for me, but I'm also going to do something for you. And I think that's why I've never been told no. Little tips I will tell you, especially like in a real estate office, when the phones are ringing and that's a super busy office, or a school office that's typically very busy, don't even give them the opportunity to say no. You go in, they're going to address you because you're coming up to the desk, and just say, hey, my name is Kelley Smith. I'm a local business owner. I just wanted to drop this off for your teachers. If you throw it throw it in the teacher's lounge. I really appreciate it. Turn around and walk out the door. Okay, they can't say no. They're just like, oh, okay. And 9 times out of 10, they do it. Same thing with the real estate office. If you come in and they're like, what is this? Don't give them too much time to really think about it. Just give them your spiel, short and sweet, who you are, what you do. I just want to bless, you guys with this basket of goodies, and then turn around and walk out. It's easier, so you don't have to, have that long conversation when they're trying to answer the phone or they're busy, so they won't be turned off by it. And then a few minutes later, I guarantee you they're going to pull into that basket and see what it is, and at least look at the things that you brought. So like I said, they may not make a purchase, they may not join your team, but you've just planted a seed. See, and that's what we do, right? We don't always necessarily get someone to buy from us right away from an action, but we planted a seed. So maybe in a couple weeks or a couple months, they will reach out to you and they'll find that card in the bottom of their purse, or they'll see it on their desk and say, you know what, that sounds interesting. Let me check this out. So those are just a few little things that I have done that have been really successful. And I know that reaching out to your cold market is not necessarily fun. It's not like, oh, yay, I'm going to make some cold calls today. Most people do not feel comfortable doing that. Some of you may, if you have that big, bold personality. Some of you may not have a problem with that. It was really hard for me. The thought of talking to someone, just coming up and like calling someone on the phone that I had no idea who they were and saying, hey, let's talk about Plexus. It terrified me. But going into a daycare, going into a church, going into a school I was fine with it. Even though I was bringing Plexus and I was a little nervous how they would receive it, I was bold in doing it. And it actually really paid off. So I'm glad that I did do it. There's tons of things you can do. If you have, any other business, or maybe someone that has a restaurant or anything really, you can kind of tweak these ideas and kind of, play around with it and see maybe what will work for you. Who's in your life, or what's in your town that's super popular. Daycares happen to be pretty big. Churches, we have a church on every corner here, it seems, real estate offices. So that was, for me in my community, something that I could really utilize. So maybe you have something different in yours, but think about it. Think about something you can do for inexpensive, that doesn't cost you a lot of money, but that you can be a blessing, and market your business in your community. Yeah.
Yay.
Awesome. I love what you said too, Kelley, about finding connectors, because that's so true. It's not about necessarily who they are, but it's about who they know, and being able to connect you with other people who could potentially benefit from either the business or the products. So I love that. And also, I think you touched on this too about, you're not only branding yourself, but you're branding the Plexus name. Therefore, when people hear it, they automatically get warm and fuzzy feelings and have positive thoughts. So I love that. Great tips. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, you can do this too. Like, think about, the whole point is cold. Think cold. Think something that isn't warm and fuzzy, easy. Cold is harder, and it's harder to really dive into. But I think once you start diving into your cold market, you are going to see really exponential growth, because those are people that you haven't reached out to. Those are people that have no idea who you are. They don't know the opportunity. And you could be bringing them something that radically changes their life. So even though it's scary, I think cold calling and cold marketing is super fun, because you never really know what's going to happen. But 9 times out of 10, it is a warm and fuzzy. It just takes you a little bit longer to get there and have the boldness to actually do it. But don't be afraid to do it, because it really does have some great potential.
That's great. Do you mind if we open it up to anyone that has questions?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. If you have a question, guys, if y'all can just unmute yourself or post it below, or maybe even share an additional idea or kind of elaborate on what Kelley was saying for some great ways to market to your cold market. Anybody have any questions?
I live in kind of a small town, and when I say small, I mean like retirement community kind of small. So, so there are a couple bigger towns, like 15 minutes up the highway, and I've thought about going and doing some stuff like that at different businesses there. But I think I don't know. I think the thing that gets me to be a little fearful, I guess, is like I don't want to step on people's toes, because I do know that there are a lot of like Plexus people in those towns. So it's kind of like, I know that, if they're not seizing the opportunity, then, it's on them. But it's at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to go tread on their territories. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that, but you know what? The beautiful thing about that is if you bring something somewhere and maybe they know, they're going to say, oh, I know someone who does Plexus. And then someone in the office is going to say, what's Plexus? It's going to strike up the conversation. So maybe they don't come back to you. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's okay, because they may go back to that Plexus person, but maybe they make that sale. Maybe they make that sale finally, that jump to try the products. And even though it isn't with you and you marketed it, it's still the pay point. So still think of it that way. If someone goes and says, oh, I know so-and-so does Plexus, and so instead of going to you, they go back to that person, they still made the sale, and that's going to build our pay point, and that helps you, Jennifer. So really, that's what I love about our company. We never have to compete with each other. It's nothing like any other company. So even though that may happen to me, I actually went to a school once, and one of my ambassadors is that she works there now. And so she is a Plexus ambassador. So I used to do that all the time. And now she does. Now she can go and do that. And it's kind of an extension of me. So that's a good point, but just think of it like you're still connector. So someone's going to come in the office and say, oh yeah, I remember that Plexus girl. I know someone who does Plexus. And that's going to strike up a conversation, and that could lead to a sale or a new ambassador.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I think we had another question too come through about what would you put in a restaurant? What type of a basket would you include in a restaurant?
You can do, like I said, samples are always good. If you have a few extra sticks of Slim laying around, or if you have the fast relief or the ease, I can never get the ease. I always say fast relief still. The body cream, things like that. A restaurant, maybe like mints, something they're leaving, even hand sanitizer, I think too. If they're coming in, they could just grab one and use. Anything you can think of, really. Any cheap and expensive you can buy. I mean, I was at the Dollar Tree today, and there's just some, little trinket things that are cute. There was like a keychain that had like a tiny little bottle of hand sanitizer, but it was super cute. It was on a keychain. I thought, oh, that's cute, something really inexpensive like that, or Tic Tac, something that, if it's a restaurant you've just eaten, you want to kind of come over and, take a mint on your way out. Instead of taking a mint, they might dig into your basket and take, something that you leave there. So just, be creative. It doesn't have to be, exactly the same. Just do whatever you think would work.
Kelley, whenever you've taken stuff to different restaurants, real estate agents, have you ever had anybody tell you that they have the no solicitation policy? Have you ever been with that?
I personally have not.
Okay.
Typically, if you are going into a business, they will have it on the door. So if I was do that, I wouldn't do it, more than likely, unless.
Right.
Another idea is, let's say maybe someone, maybe your neighbor is a teacher, or maybe your neighbor is a nurse. She works from the ER, and so she works night shift. Maybe you could say to her, hey, I know you work night shift, and I know you have a nurse's lounge. Do you mind bringing this in for your nurses? I know you're working late, blah, blah, blah. I bet you she will. Most people aren't going to tell you no.
I've done that at restaurants. I'll ask them, can you take my brochures and put them in the lounge area? And 9 times out of 10, they say, sure.
Yep.
So,
and a lot of people forget Not to knock the guys because Joe's on the call. He's one of my man ambassadors who's rocking it, but this is predominantly women. I mean, there's a lot of women into network marketing, right? Well, usually we either have a significant other, a husband, whatever, a boyfriend. They work, right? Most of them work, so they have another avenue. So maybe you sending a basket in with your husband. Maybe he works for Honda. People at Honda have to go on a break. There's always a break room. I mean, think about it. There's so many people in our lives that maybe Plexus isn't for them. Maybe they don't want to try the products yet, or maybe they're like, you know what, it's not for me. But if you say, you know what, I know you work for so-and-so and I bet you have a huge break room, or I bet you know a lot of people. Do you mind taking this in? I would love to just give you all this stuff, little goodies for you to leave in your break room. Just to see what happens. Most of the time they're going to say, sure, why not? So utilize those people. Think about it. Think about, okay, who works where? What business can I kind of see if they have a break room, or if they don't mind bringing some samples in, or a flyer, or whatever. Think about it. Just be creative and think outside the box. Something that you may not think of. Maybe you've never thought about taking your flyers or, to a daycare, because those people are always working and they're leaving their kids. But maybe there's that mom in there that is desperate to stay home and she hates leaving her kids in that daycare, because that was me at one point. And if I had been, when I was a single mom raising 4 girls, if someone had dropped off a brochure about Plexus at my daycare, boy, I would have ate it up. I would have said, you know what, sign me up. So you never know who may really be needing these products or who may be needing this opportunity. So think outside the box. Just think, go through your town and just say, okay, what businesses are down Main Street? What's interesting on this road? What's the big happening places that you think maybe, because break rooms, I say break rooms because people congregate in there. They hang out, they're going to take their breaks, they're either reading a magazine or they're taking their 10-minute break. So they're sitting in there. So if they see something, they're liable to pick in it, grab a Tic Tac, or, grab a pen or a hand sanitizer, or, sticky notes or whatever. And they're going to see that. They're going to see your business card. They're going to see the stick of some and say, what is that? At least going to pique their interest to say, let me check this out. So you've just now shared Plexus, even though you don't know it. People coming back and forth in and out of that room or wherever you've left that little goodie bag, they're learning about Plexus. They're curious, and maybe they'll go to your website, or maybe they'll add you on Facebook. If you have your Facebook on your business cards, which I highly, highly recommend, maybe they'll check out your Facebook and say, all right, let me see what this Plexus stuff is all about.
Awesome. Awesome tips.
Thanks.
Do you have anything to add or any questions?
No, I'm good. Just, go be bold, grow your business. I always tell my team, I preach, be non-apologetic about sharing Plexus, because we have a gift. We have a gift, and so we should never be ashamed. We should never be apologetic for sharing the products that we have, because we know how much they change people's health. Never apologize for sharing the opportunity, because you're helping changing people's lives, their finances, the time they're able to spend with their spouse or their children. So be non-apologetic and bold in sharing your business.
Jenny, do you have anything to add?
I don't.
Okay.
I think she pretty much covered everything.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you so much, Kelley, for sharing all of those wonderful tips on tonight's call. We so appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yes, and we look forward to having you guys and seeing you on next Tuesday's call, same time, same place. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Thank you. You guys too.
Bye.
Good night.
Thanks for getting on.
Thank you, Jenny.
Alexis.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Have a good evening.
Good night.